Hi guys, I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are having a great week, and as always I hope you guys are enjoying the video content. I'm really excited about today's video because it's something that I'm really passionate about, and it's a bit of a more meatier topic, and I really hope that out of this a really great dialogue would come out of it, and great conversations, and I really hope that people who might have opposing views from what I'm going to say, I really hope that they are able to hear my heart. So yeah, we're going to go kind of straight into it. So as you can tell, the title of the video is Dear White Christians. And before I get all this disclaimers from people saying, yeah, you know, I'm white, I'm a Christian, and I'm not like this, you know, that's fine. I'm not addressing you. I'm addressing specifically this certain group of white Christians. So yeah, in the last 2 years, especially I would say last year summer up until now, there's been a lot happening in America in terms of police brutality and just very overt racism. And it's been very painful to watch. It's been interesting how something so far in terms of like location, because I'm in England, for those of you that don't know, I live in England. So something that's been so far has felt so near and felt so real for me, even though I'm in a different country. And I think it's just this whole idea of seeing people that look like you, people who when you see, you think that could have been me, that could have been my brother, that could have been my sister, that could have been my friend, be oppressed and be treated unequally. And it's been painful, it's been really hard. And I believe that as the church, we are called to respond to injustice, and that's all forms of injustice, be it poverty, be it the mistreatment of women, be it human trafficking, and definitely be it racism. And right now I feel like there is such tension when it comes to race. And so I really believe that the body of Christ is called to respond and to act, and to have conversations and to call out injustice and inequality. And I think I've grown up very much influenced by a lot of influential white Christian leaders and churches that are very big, and from their music to listening to their podcasts, from, you know, tuning into their Sunday services. So these are men and women of God that I've grown up really looking up to, and who've been a big influence in my own personal life with my own personal relationship with Jesus. So I found myself looking to these leaders to speak out. I found myself looking at them as fellow fathers and mothers in the faith, wanting them to respond to this inequality, especially because majority of them are based in America. So I expect them to speak out on these topics, and I found myself looking at them as fellow Christians. But to be very blunt, as white Christians, there is a privilege as white people that they carry, and I wanted them to use that privilege to talk about these topics, to use the pulpits to address injustice, to encourage people in their congregation to reach out to the Black community and to hear them and to hear what they're feeling and to hear their hurt. And yet there was nothing, there was silence. Get me right, I've heard and I've seen clips and I've read stories of a lot of like white Christian leaders, you know, stepping up and having those conversations, and that's been really cool. But majority of the ones that I've been looking to, I haven't seen those conversations happening, and it's been so painful because it has felt like, wait, you don't care for people that look like me, therefore you do not care about me. And I think a lot of what's been happening with me this year is God has really shown me that I had placed these people on pedestals that they hadn't been asked to be placed on. First of all, I had placed them there, and it was a very dangerous place for them to be, because I was making them idols. I was looking for them to be more than they should have. So that was on my issue, on my part. But other than that, I felt like my frustration and anger was fair. It was fair for me to expect them to respond. I think it's even been harder when it's not been these distant Christian leaders, but it's been people who I class as my friends, people who I class as part of my community, when I haven't heard them speak out on any of the police brutality, when there's been videos of innocent black men being killed all over Facebook, I've not seen one status about it or them calling it out. And I'm not saying that like going on Facebook and writing a status is all that needs to be done. Like, some people just don't want to talk about like political things online or whatever. But when there is like issues like equal marriage and, you know, gay rights, when stuff like that is happening in the news, these are the same Christians that I see like posting about it and being outraged. These are the end times, like how we're allowing gay marriage. So they seem to be comfortable to discuss some form of politics. And when there was that whole issue in America of like transgender or neutral sex bathrooms and things like that, you saw them posting, you saw them talking about this stuff. So I'm like, okay, your issue is not about, you know, you don't want to talk about political things on Facebook. It's that you don't want to talk about racism on Facebook. And I have a problem with that. And I think my problem is rooted in this idea that it is a privilege to choose not to talk about racism. It's a privilege to choose not to address a inequality, a phenomenon that is affecting a certain people group. And so when you tell me as my friend that you love me, yet you see people like me in your country that are experiencing oppression and you don't speak out, it's very hard for me to believe that you love me. And I know that might sound dramatic, but that's just how I feel. And so, and on the other hand, actually, I've had amazing conversations with some of my white Christian friends who have been like, Tavonga, a lot of us don't speak up because we don't know what to say. You know, this is not an experience we are experiencing. We genuinely don't know what it feels like to be a black man in America, to be a black woman in England. We don't experience racism, so we don't know what to say. We don't want to say the wrong thing, and we feel like when we do say the wrong thing, people attack us, so we genuinely don't know what to do. So I guess I just wanted to leave advice. I didn't want this video to just be me condemning you guys for not speaking up and actually giving you an opportunity of what can you do. I think the first thing that you can do is reach out to the black community within your small circle, those friends, those people in your church, and ask them how they feel. Have dialogues, let them explain how it makes them feel, the hurt that they're experiencing, the mourning that they're experiencing, and mourn alongside with them, even when you don't understand. So have those conversations, and then reach out to the wider black community. Go out and serve in black communities. Go out and serve. This is more, I guess, addressing my American friends. Go out and serve in those communities. Go out and see what you can do. What petitions can you sign up? What community center can you donate to? What can you be a part of? What movements are out there, and how can you support those movements? How can you be an ally? That's the first thing. So just, I think dialogue is so important, having those conversations and then actually responding and acting. I think another thing that I would really ask is being okay with being clumped in a group with the oppressor. So a lot of the times I see when people say white people, a lot of white people get very defensive, like, wait, but that's not me, We know it's not you. We know it's not you. It's not specifically one white person we're singling out. We are talking about a system. We're talking about a social class. We're talking about a group of people that benefit from a privilege of a society that's built for their benefit. We get it. It's not just you specifically, but you are part of that system. You benefit from that system. So being quick to kind of want to defend yourself is not the way to go about it in conversation. I know it can be hurtful, especially when you're like, no, like I really, you know, I don't agree with what's happening. I didn't vote for Trump or whatever, so please don't put me in this group with white people. I get it, but I think it's important to understand that it's not about you. So when people are expressing anger and hurt and frustration, don't turn it and make it about you and try to defend yourself or share your narrative. Like, I've read comments like, oh, you know, I've experienced racism. I used to go to a school that was all predominantly black and people bullied me because I was white. I understand. Like, if somebody's showing you their wound, don't make it about you. If I came and I was like, hey, look at my arm, I cut myself, don't turn around and be like, yeah, well, that's fine because I once broke my leg. It's not about you in that very moment. it is about my arm. So it's either you're going to respond to my wound or you're not. Like, you're not going to make it about you. So that's another thing. I think it's just not turning this into about your narrative and your experience, but rather just stopping and listening and looking at that person's hurt and looking at that person's wound and asking, what can I do? And a lot of the times I think we just want you guys to listen, and we want you to speak up. We want to see you guys being outraged by police brutality as much as you are outraged by gay rights or abortion or all these other hot Christian topics. We want to see the same outrage. We want to see the same response. We want to see that you guys care. So yeah, so that's me on this topic. Like I said, it's something that I hope is going to bring a lot of dialogue. I hope that a lot of people in the comment section are going to intentionally try to have conversations and kind of explain what their experience has been as Black Christians during this time. What have you been feeling? What have you been wanting to see from your white brothers and sisters and church leaders? What response have you wanted from them? And then white Christians, why do you feel like this is happening? Why do you feel like we want you guys to speak up? And have you tried to speak up and maybe received backlash and that stopped you? Or have you not tried to speak up because you just really don't know how to go about it? Yeah, let me know in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.